I have been told on my face that, oh, in our industry, there's this perception that pretty girls can't act. I have been told this on my face. So I'm like, okay, so you're not even going to give me an opportunity. You're not even going to like let me just try me, just give me an opportunity. But no. So I really hope that with this film, people see that side of me, that, I can be doing different roles and I can, do much more than just looking pretty. And it opens, many more doors for me.
So when Zareen read it, we knew she physically fit the part, but having seen the previous body of work, we wanted to be doubly sure because this is not a straight in the Jack character.
For all film-related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
हम भी अकेले तुम भी अकेले. I will not complete the way the song went. मजा आ रहा है कसम से. I really don't know whether there are times that everyone actually wants to leave that akela-pun, but you've been getting great reviews for your film. And so, I mean, what were your reasons to come on board? It's a different kind of a story that from what I have seen in the Indian and especially in the Hindi narrative. So playing Mansi and lead, what were your reasons to jump onto this film?
Well, should I start?
Yeah, why not?
The first time I heard about this film, I was very, very kicked about playing this character. And so in regards to that, I met Anshuman and Harish sir, who is the director of our film. And I remember Harish sir giving me a narration. And by the end of it, I had tears in my eyes. And I was like, I have to be a part of this film. I want to play Mansi. But Anshuman and Harish sir were not very convinced about having me as their Mansi. I don't blame them because they were gauging me, in terms of all the previous work that I have done. And somehow I've always done just being, eye candy in the films that I have done. So they were not very convinced whether I'll be able to pull it off or not. But I really convinced them, and they asked for an audition. I gave that, and after that also somewhere, though they loved the audition and all, they were very skeptical about having me on board for whatever reasons that you can ask Anshuman. Finally, I was on board, and I was so happy that I was getting to portray this character, because finally I'm no less regards to any of the work that I've done previously, but somehow playing this character gave me so much happiness, because finally I was doing something that meant something to me, and which is going to contribute towards giving such an important message to the people outside. And I think, that was the reason that I wanted to be a part of this film. And I think my reward was once when the film was premiered in Manhattan in the South Asian International Film Festival in November 2019. When a film won Best Film there, the people over there told me that, there couldn't have been a better Mansi than you. So I was like, okay, it's done. So yeah, I think
true validation. Now, Anshuman, she's told me clearly that you all were apprehensive, but she also scooped the Best Actor award for that, and so did you. But what were the initial apprehensions that Zareen nahi baithegi as Mansi? Because
no. See, Pooja, there's no apprehension. I'll tell you what, an actor is but their choices. So if I have done a certain kind of cinema and theater in the last 18 years of my life, it's a conscious choice I have made. It's a conscious body of work I want to create. It's a conscious impression I want to give to the audiences, that I want to have a voice that says something through the cinema or through the art, whether it's my play, whether it's something I write, whether it's something I create on screen. So that has always been my driving force personally as an actor. Having said that, when this script came, there were a lot of actresses who respectfully gave a lot of screen tests. I personally love giving screen tests. And it's something that I believe all actors, no matter what your state is. In fact, yesterday only, I did a screen test and I told the director, because I'm in the middle of so much, I told him that I'm not doing justice to it. So I think you should consider someone who can do justice to it. I think that honesty with self is very important, which is the process we followed here. So when Zareen read it, we knew she physically fit the part, but having seen the previous body of work, we wanted to be doubly sure, because this is not a straight in the Jack character, right? It's a very complex thing. character, especially when you're not homosexual, requires a certain kind of attitude, finesse, and a psychophysical aspect to it, because neither
I totally agree.
from the community, right? So
Absolutely.
that was the apprehension which I had even for myself. Like I was constantly in fear that will I responsibly portray, because I didn't want to caricaturize.
Totally.
But then I know I had been eating, sleeping, living, breathing the script and also happened at the fag end of the testing process that we met Zareen. Physically, she totally fit the part. And how the industry works is, just being brutally honest, is that you have a certain kind of exposure. You only understand what you have seen and been with, right?
Yeah.
The apprehension was that I have done small films all my life, right? So I know exactly the setup. And so as a filmmaker, Harish sir had a constant worry that it's very important for artists to be happy while they are performing, right?
Absolutely.
So I have come from stage. I can work, I rehearsing but there is a certain impression that big films have. I have assisted on big films, so I know how those sets work. So the apprehension was not necessarily about Zareen per se, but about whether we'll be able to create an environment for her, which...
I totally get that.
You know what
I get that. I get that. And also I remember...
We didn't want to say that we'll give you a mango and then give you an orange. So
I totally get that. But let me tell you, Anshuman, when I spoke to Zareen, this was in the beginning of the lockdown last year, she was most excited about this because I saw her talking about the kind of movies she's done. But itna maine pyar se, jaise she was like saying that I'm looking forward to it. It was amazing.
सब जगह बोल रहा हूँ, ये ज़रीन खान का बेस्ट काम है, and मैं भगवान खुदा गॉड सबसे दुआ करता हूँ कि उनको और इस प्रकार की challenging scripts offer हूँ.
And it's good because she pushed the envelope with this one. And with both of you, it's such a sensitive story. We have seen in the past how narratives have been written. You've either caricatured the community or you have been judgmental towards them. But in the recent past, I'm seeing that they're getting a voice because there is no difference. I mean, everyone is, and as they all say that the yin and yang that we have in us, there's a feminine side, there is a masculine side in each one of us. And, some of my closest friends also are from that community. And I'm just so glad that now that voice is getting amplified, so that's very heartening for me that you both chose to do this love story. And so Zareen, talking about you, and I'll come to Anshuman later, did you have a character in mind when, as an actor gets, he observes things, tries to understand. And I also like the whole runaway aspect also and the friendship that's come in because it's, love does not have to be between a man and woman. It can, it can be between.
Love is love. That's the tagline of a film, right? Love can happen with anyone.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, well, as I was talking previously also, somehow in our country at least, I have seen a lot of homosexual men, but I haven't been across a lot of homosexual women. Maybe they are still not very comfortable coming out in the open. I don't know, for whatever reasons, I somehow personally have not seen a lot of homosexual women around me. So I did not really have a reference, and I honestly did not want to have a reference. I wanted, whenever I do a film, I don't really think that, okay, I'm going to be playing this that way or this way. Somehow for my previous films, I did not really need to do a lot of research because I wasn't playing some out of the box characters. But for this one, research was important, but somehow I did not really do it because I wanted it to be like a clean slate. I wanted, to play this how I would, I did not want to make it again caricaturish or like, stereotype it in a certain manner by, having short hair and, doing all those things, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. And somehow, me being a tomboy helped me a lot playing this character because as I've always said in my earlier interviews also, playing Mansi came very easily to me because she is very much like me apart from the homosexuality bit. Her emotions, the way she handles things, the way she's outspoken, everything about Mansi is very, very similar to what I am as a person. So I did not really have to do research in how I'm going to speak or how I'm going to walk because that is me. I'm playing me. So yeah, and somehow there's always been a conversation with my director, and when we read and all. So he never told me, "Acha, isko aise mat karo ya वैसे करो." He was very happy with the way I was doing things. So अगर कुछ गलत होता, so he would have, he would have corrected it. But he let me be me, and I think that is what is coming out on screen.
True. And Anshuman, this is also to Zareen, because usually when they show, homosexuals on the Indian screen, the men are shown as overtly effeminate. We've had characters in the past like Pinku from Maskalandar and all, mocking them. People will have fun, but now they're being shown as like After Kapoor and Sons and movies like this. It's like, yeah, everyone's just like you and me, whatever their sexual preference may be. And women are shown as a little too masculine and aggressive, the narratives. But I think with movies like that, wo thoda blur ho raha hai ki it's each one and their stories. But also, do you feel going forward we'll see a lot more narratives? Because, thoda bahut homophobia hai, because, you read in the paper every day. We are still not accepting it. One odd case will become a headline, I don't know when will that day come when we just normalize this as everything else around us.
I think it's got to do with conditioning. We've conditioned our society with restrictive, and it's not just with homosexuality. I'm saying patriarchy.
Everything.
Patriarchy, it's ingrained. I mean, what you see is, and I think with the whole effort of this film is to start conversations about acceptance. Like you said, there is no they and us. It's all we. We are all the same.
Absolutely. Totally.
Respect each other and agree to disagree. There is no harm in disagreeing, but we can also respectfully disagree. The problem comes when you become aggressive or when you want to force people to only think in a direction. So I think the biggest thing the script is trying to say is just discover that love and friendship by accepting everyone for who he or she is. And I think the world will be a better place for everyone if that happens.
I totally agree with you on that. And also, I mean, it's great that when stories like this get amplified, because it encourages a lot more people to come out in the open and be a little more fearless and speak up. Like a friend of mine has done a podcast on, coming out, but it was a struggle for him. And, so all that is really nice. And, but hopefully we'll see more such stories. But then, it's about a friendship between you and him. And there have been cases when many people have actually got into that marriage and been miserable. There have been cases here. What you've shown is them just leaving it all and setting it out on their own. So I think that aspect of the film is what I really liked.
Well, you'll see much more and be very surprised.
Yeah. I hope
you fun, because you'll have to wait till 9th of May to watch it.
Totally. Yeah, but Zareen, now with playing Mansi and also the kind of narratives that are being written for female characters, you feel that there's a lot more on offer that you have.
Well, I really hope, because, I have always been hungry to explore different kind of characters. For whatever reasons, I am not offered that, like Anshuman and Harish sir was skeptical to have me on board. I have seen a lot of people being skeptical like that to kind of offer me a little, acting driven role or whatever, because I have been told on my face that, in our industry, there's this perception that pretty girls can't act. I have been told this on my face. So I'm like, okay, so you're not even going to give me an opportunity. You're not even going to let me just try me, just give me an opportunity. But no. So I really hope that with this film, people see that side of me, that, I can be doing different roles and I can, do much more than just looking pretty. And it opens, many more doors for me, where these meaningful roles are, when I'm supposed to be doing, when I'm required to do meaningful roles. And the last film I saw was Sania's Paglet. I really like that concept.
Lovely.
I think we need more films like these, which are out of the box. We are done seeing that whole dancing and fighting and all that nonsense. Now we need to be in touch with reality, right? We need to have real cinema. And I'm happy that films like these are made and accepted, because our audiences have also evolved. Now that's the reason they are accepting this kind of cinema. So yes, I hope more and more of this kind of cinema is made where we are in touch with reality, and I hope that I get to be a part of it.
Totally retire kar do all that song and dance and but you know, I totally get that, you know. But Anshuman, also this 1 year with the OTT platforms, and also as she said, a discerning audience, कुछ भी content हो, बड़ी हो, छोटी हो, क्या actor हो, people just want to see good content.
Exactly.
For you, yeah. So encouraging times. I mean, as an actor, what do you feel? These are times that we had all been waiting for.
Yeah, I
the
think
star system, do you think has got upended? Will get upended?
I think that will take time. It's been around for nearly half a century. It will
conditioning
take. वो भी conditioning है. सब चीज conditioning है. See, we just need to realize one thing, that, and this is something I keep reiterating whenever I speak, that we didn't decide to be a boy or a girl. You didn't decide to be a female, right? I didn't decide to be a male. We don't even know when we are going to die. We might pop the very next day. So this anchoring about holding on to, and it's again the conditioning we've created, whether it's social media, whether it's the millions of following, whether it's all that bullshit, that I know it's important for the business, but the business will not last forever. The art will last forever. I will die, but we will stay forever, right? So the simple thought is, why not focus on creating characters that will stay beyond you and not be so self-obsessed that I want to be the biggest star? Because the star can vanish, but the work created will never vanish, which is why I for the work he does, because every film of his will stay forever. And I think that's a great way. Storytelling, the story is more important than its base components, including anyone on set. It's the film which is more important than anyone. And I think in these times, especially with the OTT boom, and I think LSD was the first film of that kind commercially to do, start that change in terms of that, the fact that Ekta produced it, Balaji backed it. I think the last decade, with the boom of digital filmmaking and OTTs, the storytelling is only going to keep expanding now. Like the best series last year for me was Patal Lok, which had one of the best actors in India, underrated, like to the T, Jaideep Alawat. But give him a meaty role and he'll just show you, and now that character will live forever. You know?
Absolutely.
No number of following, no number of fame can ever compensate for that. We miss Irfan sir today because of the impression he left on our heart, not because of anything else. So I think that conditioning has to change, and we need to focus on the essentials.
Totally. जाते जाते आप दोनों मुझे ये बता, ज़रीन आपका गर्ल क्रश कौन है वैसे?
गर्ल क्रश बहुत सारे वैसे तो
एक गर्ल क्रश यार.
I think Kareena Kapoor Khan is my
that's a good
ultimate girl crush. Oh my god,
I agree. I second that as a boy.
Yeah, आप अपना boy crush
your boy crush. What do
I second that is cute.
My boy crush would be, I think it would be of the current actors, Vikrant Massey.
High five. वैसे वो मैं हाँ बहुत
Vikrant Massey, hands down.
Sure, totally. And बस lovely chatting with the two of you. मैंने ज़रीन से पिछले साल, as I said, 1 साल हो गया ज़रीन, हम वही पोजीशन में है. मैं अपने कमरे में बैठी हूँ, अपने कमरे में बैठे हो, हम वही गप मार रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं बदला. But you know, on कुछ नहीं बदला. वही झाड़ू कटका कर रही है, खाना बना रही है, कहानी घर घर की.
What is that one? I really hope the situation becomes better soon.
So as two people, what is the message you really want to give out? Because the condition, last year we were waiting for 2021, thinking 2020 was worse. अब सब कह रहे हैं भाई हमें 2020 ले जाओ. It wasn't as bad as we had thought it to be. So what is that one message you both really want to give out?
Well, I want to say that I know बहुत ही मुश्किल time चल रहा है. हम सबको ये लगा था that 2021 is going to become better, but sadly वो 2020 से भी थोड़ा ज़्यादा खराब हो गया है. But all I can say is just be strong and have faith, क्योंकि we as Indians have fought many more bigger things, and you know उससे हम बाहर निकले हैं. तो I know बहुत ही फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग पीरियड चल रहा है, बट आई वुड जस्ट से स्टे स्ट्रॉन्ग और अपना ख्याल रखें. उससे आप आजू बाजू का भी ख्याल रख सकते हैं बाय जस्ट बीइंग एट होम एंड हेल्प पीपल एज मच एज यू कैन. चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम जैसे बोलते हैं, तो पहले सबसे पहले अपने आसपास वालों को मदद कीजिए. अपने जो आपके हेल्पर्स हैं, जो आपके ड्राइवर्स हैं, वॉचमैन हैं, उनको मदद करते हुए शुरू कीजिए. एंड देन यू कैन ऑल्सो हेल्प पीपल अराउंड यू, बट मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली जस्ट बी सेफ.
Totally. Anshuman.
This too shall pass. Like 2020 passed, this too shall pass. So just have faith and stay strong.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much. And congratulations for bringing us the movie that you have. And हम भी अकेले, तुम भी अकेले. मैं बस वेट कर रही हूँ to complete the song. मजा आ रहा है.
9th May, Disney Plus Hotstar.
9th May is my mother's birthday. I couldn't ask for a better date for the film to release.
Wow.
Awesome, Zareen. And I'm very happy for you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anshuman. Thank you, Zareen.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.